Sometimes we find that some things are pulling for our attention, often difficult or complicated or uncomfortable things. And we tend to push them away because we're built so that we push away things which are unpleasant, and we tend to move towards things that are pleasant. And yet, however much we push them away, they still turn up just over your shoulder, somewhere here, wanting attention, sort of like doing this. So what to do about that? One thing we can do is to turn towards them and face them rather than pushing them away. Now, why would we do that? Well, if we take something with which we're not very comfortable and we spend a little bit of time noticing where in our body we feel it. So, for example, if someone's angry with you, you may well feel a sort of tightness just around here somewhere. If we notice that that's what's happening, it stops a normal effect of emotional memory because we're built to remember bad things so that we can avoid them in the future. It's a survival scenario. Okay, so normally speaking, if you get a really big grippy thing going on in your stomach or in this diaphragm bit, and you're a bit frightened and a bit sweaty, but you don't really pay attention to how that is, you just remember it. That physical part of your memory will make it much more important in the way your memory is going to shelve it, in the way it's going to store it. So it's much more likely with this sort of, this is a very important thing to remember, tag stuck to it, that you're going to recall it more often. Recalling bad things often is essentially what rumination is. And so we can get into a spiral where we're constantly being reminded about bad things, which we then try to solve, and we don't really solve them, and then we just push them away, and then they turn up again just over your left shoulder or wherever your bad things tend to turn up. So one of the things that we are going to be learning is how to accept that when bad things happen, we often have a feeling in our body. We notice that feeling in our body. And because we've noticed it and noticed it's a normal thing, it doesn't produce this massively powerful memory which will keep turning up all the time. So that's a little trick which we take into the next session.